Hey guys, Desolator Magic back with another hilarious video. I just happened to randomly stumble across the list of rules for a Wizards Play Network location. So if your store is holding Friday Night Magic, they're probably a Wizards Play Network location, so they have to abide by all of these ridiculous rules. And I guarantee you, at least from what I've heard from stories of other people talking about the local gaming stores, your local gaming store is probably breaking some of these rules. But then again, Wizards is being kind of rule Nazis about this. Some of them are more reasonable than others, but I'll just point out a couple that I thought were interesting. The first one I haven't actually come across. I've never heard of this, but I could totally see somebody doing it. It says, access to events may not be restricted in any manner, such as, members only or, ages 21 and over, ages 13 and up. You have to let everybody play there. So if you want like an all adults no kids tournament, you can't do it. If you just don't like people under 13 in your store and you have a policy about not letting kids into your store for some reason, you can't do it. That one does seem pretty strict and unusual. I mean, it should be up to the store owner's discretion, but I mean, if you're putting up, Wizards product and a logo everywhere, you're kind of representing them, so I guess you have to abide by the way they want you to do things. The very next rule is restroom facilities must be clean, sanitary, which are synonyms, and accessible to all event participants, staff, and attendees. So if your local gaming store exists in a facility that was built, let's say, 100 years ago, so it's not remotely handicap accessible, none of the bathrooms are handicap accessible, guess what? The federal government and state government might say that you're grandfathered in because, they passed a law more recently, so they don't, they can't make you retroactively fix your building, but Wizards won't let you hold events there, so that's actually, I'm completely for that one. I mean, seriously, it's practically discrimination. People are just hiding behind the fact that they don't want to spend money to get their restrooms up to par. And let's just not even talk about the clean and sanitary part. I've heard of, LGSs that just have terrible bathrooms. They never clean them. Utterly ridiculous. The third one, I've never been to an LGS that complies with this. The event location must be clean. Okay. Comfortable. Oh, hell no. And safe environment for attendees and event staff. I think it got up to 100 degrees the last time I was at FNM. In fact, my old LGS that I used to go to, they'd get up in the 80s and 90 degrees. That is not comfortable. Not for somebody like me that just has no tolerance for heat. I mean, I'm the guy shirtless out there at the Packer games, but, you put me in a hot situation like 75 degrees, I'm going to be sweating the whole time. I don't do hot, and that's not what I would call comfortable. Now, this next rule should be pretty obvious, but boy, do I know a local gaming store that does not comply with this, and you guys might have kind of a similar story. Any DCI-sanctioned event must be conducted in a way that is fair, tolerant, respectful, complies with Wizards gameplay rules, and provides a welcoming community experience to players and spectators. The staff at one of my local gaming stores has a little bit different opinion. It's more like, screw you, we don't have to follow any of the rules. If somebody sneaks 6 cards into their deck, yeah, that's fine, whatever. We'll tell them not to do it again. But, anti-cheating isn't really enforced at this level. You're treating it like a tournament. This is just Friday Night Magic, and they don't really enforce the rules. Well, guess what? They do. Now, there are literally different tiers of rules. There are tournament rules, and then there's another set of rules for Friday Night Magic, and they are different rules, but having 6 of a card in your deck, not quite. Shuffling in an unfair manner, that's not tolerated at any level of play. So the new local gaming store that I go to more often now, they're real strict. I mean, they will follow the rules as well as they possibly can. The exact precise phase rules and stack order and absolutely everything, because they got people there who know, what's going on, me included. If somebody walks up to their friend's game and says, "Oh, you missed this, you should have played this," and they go, "Oh yeah, okay, I could have played this. Okay, I'm gonna do that instead." Game loss for that person. Game loss for both of them, actually. That is their official rule, and that is more like what would happen at a tournament, but if you look at the actual Wizards rules, that's what you're supposed to do, even at Friday Night Magic. Now, most of you probably suspected this, but you're not allowed to let people bet on games. Even though ante used to be a thing in the early days of Magic. So while you are allowed to send your opponent to the Shadow Realm if they lose, you aren't allowed to bet even a quarter on a match, not in a DCI-sanctioned event. I assume with casual Magic play, if you want to come in and bet $5 on a game, that's kind of up to the state rules and the game, the gaming store's owner, I guess. Honestly, posting rare cards and then the winner, gets them to add a little excitement and, in casual play, that's totally classic. That goes way back to the 90s and the early, Pokemon days, and everybody's posted just kind of a mid-range rare, so that the winner gets it, just to make it more exciting. So I think that should be tolerated, but it's kind of weird. It adds like a weird spin to like Friday Night Magic, so I could see why they would ban it. There's another policy that will surprise nobody. Reasonable measures must be taken to prevent or prohibit discrimination on the basis of race, color, creed, religion, sex, marital status, sexual orientation, public assistance status, disability, age, national origin, or veteran status. That is actually more extensive than I believe the actual federal list on discrimination, which is interesting. So if anybody's hating on anybody for any reason, organizers of any given event must immediately report any incidents of discriminatory behavior to Wizards by contacting customer service. If a player files a report saying, hey, everybody was like being rude because I'm white or whatever, because I'm a veteran, I could totally see that. I think I have seen that actually. Or they're giving somebody crap for being 60 and playing Magic. I mean, that usually doesn't happen at any local gaming store around here, but I could see it. If a player has to report it and they find out that the store didn't and the store knew about it, guess what? That store's going to get a pretty big warning. And they'll lose their ability to run DCI sanctioned events if it happens more than a couple times. So if you see it, report it, and Wizards will drop the hammer on whoever's to blame. Except for Tumblr-style feminists, just don't listen to any word they say. Like, chewing a certain way is like sexist, so just ignore them. Did you know that distribution, publication, or display of any sort of sexually explicit material on an event is not permitted? So if somebody drew some spicy hot fan art of Jace, and it's just a little bit too racy for you, but they put it up on the wall, time to call Wizards. Now this one I could see potentially being broken. Distribution, consumption, or sale of drugs, obviously, as well as alcohol at an event is not permitted. So basically, having alcohol at an event at all is not permitted. I could have sworn there were like pro tours where they broke this, where people are carrying around beers and stuff, but who knows. So if your LGS has a bar in the back called the 5th Round Bye, you might want to call Wizards about that one. There's some communist/Nazi level crap for you. Organizers may not display any of Wizards' brands, products, materials, names, or trademarks in a way that is disrespectful, demeaning, or otherwise harmful. So if you get a poster that says Magic Origins, you can't take a sticky note, put it under there, and write "sucks," regardless of how true that may be. I don't know why they don't let a store have a section that says good booster packs and then crappy booster packs. I mean, come on. Wizards of the Coast does not require but strongly recommends that any Wizards of the Coast Play Network location conducts background checks on their staff, especially if they drive a van. And I'm talking about a panel van, like the traditional kidnapper van, not like a minivan. I mean, then they're probably cool. That pretty much is the background check. Just ask them what they drive. If it's like a Maserati, okay, they're probably cool. If it's a minivan, yeah, okay, probably family person, whatever, that's cool. Panel van, nah, you better check the court records after that. You better go a little deeper down the rabbit hole. Now, here's the number one most ridiculous thing I have read in this entire document. Are you ready for this one? Because this is going to piss you off. You might want to sit down for this one. Organizers may not make public statements or disclosures, including but not limited to statements to the news media regarding Wizards' proprietary business practices or other information that should reasonably be considered confidential. That's lawyer speak for we're not going to stamp confidential on a certain paragraph, or like a price list, or like a how to conduct a tournament thing, or rules, or, they're not going to mark anything as confidential. They're just going to sue you if they don't like what you're saying to the news media. So trash talk the brand, or say, oh, hey, Wizards did this and I don't like it. Boom, they'll sue you. And of course, you agreed to these terms of use to be a Wizards Play Network location, so they have all the right in the world to sue you. This next one is interesting. Organizers may not engage in public criticism of a player, a judge, another organizer, an event, or a Wizards employee. So you're not allowed to publicly criticize in any way Star City Games because they're another organizer, even though they massively screw up their events. Oh, and rip off players, drive up prices, hoard cards, and basically they're just complete jerks. But you're not allowed to say that if you're a Wizards Play Network location, because Wizards wants you to pretend that everything's cool and that there's no problems, which is really how they conduct everything they've ever done ever. Oh, and you're not allowed to criticize a Wizards employee. I don't think I'll be turning in any WPN applications anytime soon. Maybe if they fire Aaron Forsyth, I will, though. It honestly doesn't say anything about past employees. Now, the very last one is hilarious because it just screams last one. This is just like the lawyer was done coming up with new ideas, so they put this in. Are you ready for this one? It just simply states in one sentence, organizers may not engage in any other activities that Wizards deems inappropriate. If you have a gorilla mascot dancing out in front of your store and they don't like that, then you can't do it. So basically, Wizards can come in and tell you not to do anything. Absolutely anything. If you're a Wizards Play Network location, they can tell you, don't do this, we don't like this, we basically run your business now, screw you. Even though you're just carrying their product line. That's it. I mean, they're acting like they basically own your business. So that's it for the ridiculous, overbearing, and outright hilarious in some cases list of rules that you have to comply with if you're going to hold Friday Night Magic, basically. If your store or any of the players at it are not in compliance with these rules and you're sick of it and you want to do something about it other than stop showing up, the link is in the description. Wizards encourages people to actually give out the link in this rules document that says anybody can contact customer support and file a complaint. It could be anything from, racist remarks in the store doing nothing about it, to players cheating in the store doing nothing about it, or the sanitary conditions of the restrooms, or the big one, which is mishandling of either the actual prizes or overstocked prizes, I guess you could say, for special events. Like, the box promos, the FNM giveaways. If you see them being sold by the store instead of giving away, yeah, you better report that because they will immediately suspend their WPN status. I know it's happened to a store in my area. Twice. Now, there is one more thing that I thought, this kind of fits the topic, so I got to throw it in at the end here. How do you become a Wizards Play Network, and how do you stay a Wizards Play Network? This is a little bit rough. And it basically summarizes why I'm not one at my store. Also, we primarily do something else other than the hobby industry. And no, I won't tell you what it is. Just imagine we sell like burgers or antiques or something. It's about that far away from the hobby industry, honestly. There are 4 tiers in the WPN program, and you start at a gateway level. And I believe you can just basically sign up, read the rules, make an agreement, and go through an orientation program, and then boom, you're gateway level. Now, the requirements for gateway level don't make any sense because you could just be gateway level by signing up. But anyway, the requirements, as they put it, are you report at least 4 events. And this is, I believe, in a year. So if you don't think you'll have the right turnout for FNM, but you want to kind of start being a Wizards Play Network and getting people to play there, basically just hold the pre-release is what they're saying. So you report at least 4 events. You got to have at least 15 unique players total reported in all of your events combined, and then run and report a single event with at least 8 players. So at least one of the 4 events had to have at least 18, and you have to have had 15 unique players total. Now this one's a little rough. You have to introduce at least 3 new players to WPN events. So I don't know if that means register a new DCI number or if it means check in somebody that you've never checked in before that has been playing for 20 years just at a different location. I'm not really sure. And obviously you have to complete the mandatory orientation program as well. Here's the catch. If a store remains at this level for longer than 12 continuous months, WPN status will be revoked. So you have 1 year to, I guess, clear these requirements, but that doesn't make sense because if you clear all these requirements, you're still only at gateway level, and then they'll still revoke your WPN status. So basically those numbers mean absolutely nothing because they won't get you to the next level, I guess. This website honestly completely sucks and makes no sense. It's very, very unspecific. Now the requirements to qualify as a core store, which is the next Wizards Play Network tier. You have to report 24 events, I assume, in a year. You have to have 30 unique players total, 12 plus at one single event, introduce at least 6 new players, and maintain a delinquency rate of less than 20%. I have no idea what that means. If I had to take a guess, I would assume it means you had less than 6 people and couldn't hold FNM more than 20% of the time, but I have no idea. So you finally made it to core, you got 30 unique players, you've got 24 events or more logged, and 12 people showed up to one of the events. Great, you got 6 new players too. Guess what? After 12 continuous months of being at this tier, if a store falls below this level, WPN status will be revoked. So this is the actual requirement. I guess you could kind of get downgraded to Gateway, and then I assume if you don't even qualify for Gateway, then, you know, screw you. But that's kind of what the Gateway level said in the first place. So really the first tier means absolutely nothing. Now, unfortunately, I could name 2 gaming stores in the area, one is actually out of business now, that I don't think quite made this, believe it or not. I mean, if you live in a small enough area, not my area has a huge population technically, but if your city has like 15,000 people, you might not quite get 24 events, 30 unique players, and 12 plus at one. Then you have to start faking results and faking, you know, people checking in. It all turns into a mess. I've heard of people doing it. Obviously they shouldn't, but Wizards put this ridiculous restriction. So the problem is you have to maintain at this level every single year, which means you have to introduce at least 6 new players to WPN events every single year. Well, how would you do that for 30 years straight? I mean, guarantee that you got new people. Now, if you're a really big store, I mean, the one I usually go to, or occasionally used to, I should say, they probably added 100 every year. I mean, that's just how they are. The other one, well, they are just damn lucky that they have other locations, and I don't think Wizards cares. It's kind of cumulative. But yeah, that newer one, they would never, ever qualify for that by themselves. Now, if you want to be Advanced Plus, I think this is where they kind of expect you to have more than one location, because the requirements are report at least 125 events. There are 52 Fridays in a year. So if all you hold is FNM, I mean, because I don't know, a lot of people, they will kind of check in like, you know, Modern Mondays or whatever. Like, we play Modern on Mondays, and they will use the official DCI tournament scoring app. You'd have to do that plus something else to get to 125. So what I'm assuming is you hold Friday Night Magic and just have 3 store locations. I assume that's how they count it. I don't know. So you have to have at least 250 unique players, run a single event with 50 or more, which that's even a stretch for the LGS I'm thinking of, and then add at least 50 new people to the WPN network, maintain a delinquency rate of 0%. So if that's like, you know, not enough people showing up to FNM, boy, you might get burned on that, because if it's just 1%, boom, you're screwed. You also have to incur 0 fraud infractions, which I assume is like people reporting you for doing something sketchy. Either that or them catching you faking the scoring system or something. So yeah, don't do that. If you want to be Advanced Plus, you shouldn't be doing that even at Gateway level. You shouldn't be doing that if you're not in the WPN. Don't be jerks. So yeah, Wizards is pretty darn unfriendly to new hobby stores and new gaming locations. That's why a lot of the kind of small to mid-sized ones, they just don't even want to be a Wizards Play Network location, because it just doesn't work. You have 1 year to get your business just going. I mean, it's almost like, yeah, we sell this, we sell that, we sell that, we sell, you know, Settlers of Catan and this and that and, you know, that, but we better push MTG because we don't want to get kicked out. And I think that's what Wizards is going for. They want your number one product to be Magic the Gathering, because you don't want to lose your WPN status. So overall, completely unfair. I think it's just a complete load of crap. They should just let people do whatever the hell they want, which is what my store does. We hold tournaments whenever we want, give away whatever we want, structure it however we want, staff it however we want, and just use whatever rules we want. I mean, it's just a complete free-for-all, and everybody has way more fun because we're just doing whatever we want. On the flip side, I can see why Wizards doesn't want just anybody to do that, but hey, can't have it all, right? So what do you guys think? Are some of these rules outright silly? Or most interestingly of all, like the title says, is your local gaming store in complete and utter violation of half these rules? Because they probably are. If so, like I said, the report them link is in the description, but obviously don't be a jerk. You gotta go up to your local gaming store and say, hey, your restrooms are crap, I don't like it, fix it. You know, or hey, this guy's being a complete racist, so this guy's making fun of a kid because he's 12. Tell them to fix the situation first locally before you let Wizards hear about it, because Wizards doesn't want to hear about it until you've tried to do something about it. But of course, certain stores, you know, they'll jump right on it, and other stores, they will just brush it under the rug and they don't care because the staff is just completely apathetic. But hey, that's when Wizards steps in and says, hey, you want to keep getting from the vault? You want to get, keep holding FNM? You want to keep getting promos? Stop breaking the rules. And that's definitely the silver lining about all of this. So I will see you guys next video.